Today I'm going to show you how I paint my safety eyes for Amigurumi and the supplies that I use. First, you're definitely going to want to put on some gloves. These are the paint brands that I've tried and what I prefer. This is Delta Ceramic Coat Glitter Explosion. This is Folk Art Glitterific. And this is Deco Art Galaxy Glitter. Now these brands all come in a variety of colors, but to simplify this video, I'm going to be using gold. These are the eyes that I use. I love these eyes. They are very clear. I feel like the ones from Amazon are not as clear. I get these ones from AliExpress and I'll have them linked below. Next, you're going to need some paintbrushes. It doesn't really matter which ones, just small paintbrushes. Then you are going to need a matte black paint, or I guess it could be satin, doesn't really matter. This one is not exactly my favorite. This is the Galaxy Glitter. And the reason why it's not my favorite is because it is very watery, so it would take a while to build up if that is something that you wanted. You can see here that it just goes on very thin, and you'll see later on why I don't like that and why the other ones are just a little bit better for me and what I like for my safety eyes. Next, this is the Folk Art. It is a lot thicker. As you can see, it's not runny, it's not falling off of the brush. It is a very thick consistency. Then I love this one. This is a ceramic coat. It's my favorite, and the reason why I like this one more than the Folk Art one is just because it has bigger chunks of glitter in it, but I feel as though they are both similar in consistency. This one's real chunky, real chunky. So I like to hold on to the little sticker that comes onto the front of the eyes when I'm painting the eyes. I mean, you don't have to. You could put like a little piece of tape there and hold it, or just hold it however you want. That's just what I do to keep my hand out of the way. So I'm going to take a nice little glob of my paint here, and I'm going to just scrape it onto the safety eye. I like to kind of add it on heavy in the beginning. And what I do is I pat around the safety eye so that it spreads out evenly. And because of the consistency of this paint and it being so thick, it builds out really nicely and it builds very easily. As you can see here, it's a pretty even layer, it's pretty flat. Doesn't really matter because this is going to be in the back anyway and you'll not be able to see it, but I just like to have it as flat as possible so that it dries evenly. Now this is what the eye looks like currently without having the background painted over, which I will show you here soon. I'm going to make a blue one as well, just for fun. Again, I take a generous amount of the paint and I scrape it onto the safety eye. Now, I will say this paint, specifically the thicker ones that I mentioned, they have a really strong smell, so I would make sure you are in a ventilated area because they are stinky. Okay, so now we just have to wait for them to dry, and I will be back to show you how I do the next step and finish them off, which to me is like the most important step because it really makes the eyes pop. So I waited about 2 hours. I typically will do these in big batches and sometimes leave them overnight and then come back and finish them the next day with this next step. But for the sake of the video, 2 hours is fine. You do want to make sure that they are completely dry before you put them on your plushie though. So I would give them at least 24 hours after this next step. So now I'm going to take the matte paint that I talked about and I am going to just paint over top of the glittery paint, and that just makes it so that it has a background, so you can't just like see through it. It just kind of makes the glitter pop. As you can see here, these are the beautiful eyes outside and I love them, and that's what I do. That's my method. This is a quick little hack that I wanted to add in. You could also just take some glitter cardstock and either cut it out by hand or with a cutting machine, and then you just push it onto the back of the eyes and you get this beautiful glittery effect without having to spend time painting. Now, this would not work if you wanted to wash your plushies, but I mean, most plushies probably shouldn't be washed anyway. But yeah.